Hi, this is Katie Shell. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am talking about how we appear in our children's charts, astrology charts. And one of the things, obviously, there's a lot of different ways to read a chart where we're reading it as, parts of ourselves, we're reading them as how other people show up in our lives. There's always multi layers and multi methodologies. So one of the things that I've been working on lately is is understanding how people appear in our lives, how our families appear in our lives, how conditioning appears, and how it makes us stronger, how it brings us empowerment, how it connects us with all of these different possibilities for our own personal growth. But what happens is when we start looking at our children's chart, and especially when and this is personal experience, when I look at my own children's chart or family members' charts, I see how I appear in them. I can, I look at a particular planetary placement and how it's blocking or causing conflict or whatever it is, creating difficulties for my children. And it's it's kind of a difficult thing to deal with. And so when I've read other people's charts where people have asked me to read them for their own children, and they've expressed concerns about how their child is whatever negative thing that they're worried about their child appearing. I'll see how the parent themselves is actually influencing that. And so it becomes a very, very fine line to draw. And so I wanted to get out and kind of talk about this a little bit. So if you want to do a chart reading, if you want to do a reading for your children, to recognize that things like this will come up. We'll see some of our own patterns that we've been working with that maybe are difficult for us, that we maybe don't want to recognize. For me, it's definitely a bit of a reality check, but it's also an opportunity, and has become an opportunity for me to feel stronger in who I am. It becomes an opportunity for us to maybe make tweaks, but not necessarily take on all of these things. Like, my chart is written the way it is, and I know who I am. I know who I'm becoming. I know what my path is, even if I'm constantly struggling. That's part of our jobs here, right? Part of our jobs here is to learn and grow. And so is our kids. And so what happens is that when we are presenting these challenges to our kids, and we recognize ourselves in the way that this difficulty is presenting itself for our family members or our kids, we can take a step back and recognize the fact that this is part of their journey too, and that they do need to struggle and grow. And so it doesn't mean that we need to be terrible, mean, awful people to our children. What it means is, as somebody who really loves as a person who loves your child, it's much better for these lessons to come in a safe place, and for these lessons to come from somebody who really loves and cares about them, and that you can't that even if we do see it, there's this saying, a lot of people in especially like new age communities, is I'm raising my child so that they don't have a childhood that they have to recover from. Well, everyone has to have a childhood that they have to learn from, and not getting into blaming ourselves or feeling guilty about what we bring into our child's life. Yes, yes, yes. Be aware of what you bring in, and do things that you can do to help them be stronger, more secure, more confident. But they have to go through these struggles. And if they do them and they practice them with us, they're going to be a lot more confident and secure when they get older. Just an example of this, in one of my sons, actually two of my sons' charts, have Pluto, which is about, it can be about multi-life pain. It can be about, it's all about our empowerment. It's about confidence, strength, all of these other things. And so a lot of the studies I've been doing lately really focus on that. And so both of my kids have this sixth house, have it in the sixth house, which is about, um, it can be about mentors, it can be about routines. And then it's in Capricorn because they're both in that Capricorn generation. In fact, probably a lot of the people who are watching this and wondering about their own kids have Pluto placements in Capricorn. And Capricorn's all about structure and responsibility and rules, creating our own rules. And we can only create our own rules when we see what the other rules are. So we need that example of something that doesn't work for us to create what does work for us. And so both of my kids, two of my kids, my two younger kids have this. And they both have squares or oppositions or different issues that are blocking or creating problems for them. And I just started laughing. At first I felt very guilty about it. I felt like I needed to change the person who I was. And then it just like 180-degree thing when I kind of started thinking about what other ways that this could play out for them, and seeing really recognizing how it plays out with me. With my youngest, it's I have Venus in, he has I don't want to get too much into the technical astrology stuff of it, but basically, and if you want a reading, please call me for reading because I love talking about this stuff. And katieshell.com, you can book recorded readings one-on-one, lots of different links, lots of different options. But if you want to talk about this stuff with you, but let's do that because that would be fabulous. But my point is, it came out as, I am a person, I am his mother, and who is creative and interesting and cares about feelings and cares about, surrendering to the cosmos, and my children just want structure. And so I have to kind of find that balance of bringing forth what I am in a way that they can deal with, and then helping them find structure within that without changing myself. And so this has been a huge kind of revelation for me, and something that I really feel like I can help other people with, and have already started help and have been able to help other people with seeing this stuff, because it isn't your fault. Because once we start taking that on, and we take it on as too much of our responsibility, and we start feeling guilty, and we blame our situation, or our children blame us for something that we've done wrong, or we blame our spouses or other parental figures or other caretakers in their lives for these things that appear in their chart. We start getting into that cycle of abdicating our powers to somebody else, and not taking on responsibility for ourselves, but also not being our own selves. And so it's really important just to recognize these patterns within us and within our kids, so that we can then work with them to both of us become stronger. So we raise the children up to understand how to work with energy like ours, and we understand how to help ourselves put that energy out in a way that people can work with us. And so, again, being ourselves and not taking on this stuff and not taking it too personally. Just recognizing we are all here to grow and learn together. So I hope this helps. Book a reading, book intuitive sessions, all sorts of other things at katieshell.com. Thank you. Bye.